Hey Bobcats, this is Mr. Peterson. Today we're going to be continuing our investigations into quadratic inequalities. Today's video is going to more focus on how we can use algebra to solve them. In the previous video we talked about using tables and graphs. So I'm going to jump here to example 3. Solve the inequality x squared minus 4x plus 1 is greater than 6 using algebra. Okay, so first of all, to do this, if you remember to our video yesterday, when we would graph it, we need to find its zeros. It's one of its key attributes. So let's find the zeros of this function, and to do that, we're going to treat it like it's an equation. And we're going to say x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 6. Now, since we need to find its zeros, we know we have a lot of tools in our toolkit for doing that. We've got factoring, we've got completing the square, we've got the quadratic equation, we've got the square root property. But this one, as you'll see, if we take 6 away from both sides, we wind up getting x squared minus 4x minus 5 equals 0. This one really lends itself to factoring, and factoring is very straightforward, so let's do the factoring. So we would wind up needing numbers that would multiply and give us a negative 5, and that would add together and give us a negative 4. So if we think about our numbers there, we would wind up with a negative 5 and a positive 1. So my answers are x minus 5 and x plus 1. If you're not following along with me, go ahead and check this. Make sure that it comes back to what we wanted it to be, which was this. So now we need to set each of these equal to 0. X minus 5 is equal to 0, and then x plus 1 is equal to 0. So we want to add 5 to both sides here. X is going to be equal to 5. We want to take away 1 from both sides. Take away 1 from both sides. X is equal to negative 1. So what that means is these are the zeros for my function. I'll just make a very kind of rough sketch of what this is going to look like. This isn't really what it looks like, but I'm just kind of doing this to illustrate a point for us. So we know we're going to have zeros at negative 1 and positive 5. So what this means in terms of solving it using algebra, that means that some of our numbers, some of the numbers that might fit the inequality are going to be numbers that are less than 1. Those numbers there. Some of our numbers that are going to fit our inequality are going to be the numbers that are between 1 and 5. And then some of our numbers that might fit our inequality are going to be the numbers that are greater than 5. So as you can see here, it kind of splits into 3 intervals that we need to look at algebraically. So we need to look at numbers that are less than negative 1, we need to look at numbers that are between negative 1 and 5, and we need to look at numbers that are greater than 5. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to test out, guess and check some numbers. All right, so we pick a number that's less than negative 1. Negative 2 is less than negative 1, so let's try that. Negative 2 squared minus 4x plus 1, and now we're going to go back to the inequality mode, is greater than 6. Well, this x here should be a negative 2. Fix that right there. All right, negative 2 squared is positive 4. Minus 4 times negative 2, that would wind up becoming a plus 8. Plus 1 is greater than 6. 4 plus 8 is 12. Plus 1 more is 13. 13 is greater than 6. So it works on this interval. So one of our solutions are the numbers x that are less than negative 1. All right, let's try, now we need to try the number in this middle interval between negative 1 and 5. So let's pick a number between there. 0 is between there, let's use 0. 0 squared minus 4 times 0 plus 1 should be greater than 6. All right, that's a 0. And then 4 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Plus 1 is 1. 1 is not greater than 6. So the numbers in here do not fit this inequality. All right, so now we got one more to try. We got to try numbers that are bigger than 5. Well, 6 is a number that's bigger than 5. Let's try it. 6 squared minus 4 times 6 plus 1 should be greater than 6. 6 squared is 36. minus 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 1 should be greater than 6. 36 take away 24 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. 13 is greater than 6. So that interval does work as well. So now we also have the numbers that are x is greater than 5. So we now have a solution here. The solution is x has to be less than -1 or x has to be greater than +5. And if we wrote that in interval notation, it would be negative infinity, comma 1, and then we would use the u for union to include this other set, which is 5, comma positive infinity. Alright, so why don't you guys try this one and try this one, and we'll see you in class today.